Hello and welcome to Paradrome, a show where we discuss mysteries and share personal experiences, and then it's up to you to form your own opinion.
I'm going to make sure that people know about stories like this.
That's great. That's great. I'm interested to know how you collect evidence and data and all that stuff.
Well, with a voice recorder, it's often said that there are voices that we can't hear that are inaudible to us, but the tape recorder picks up. You have to ask direct questions, so it's important to know the history of a location.
Okay, so do you think you could please take us step by step as to how you would collect information, like the very foundation before you go after a story? How would you go about it step by step? What would be the first thing to the very last thing?
Well, I'll give you an example.
So
at Sagnicos Manor, to know the location and know what you're dealing with. Now, I happen to know that an Indian girl was killed. So I would often go to Sagnicos Manor in West Bayshore and ask this Indian girl, what is your name? I need to know your name. I will often bring my voice recorder and say, listen, I'm here to speak with you. On behalf of the living, can you state your name?
Are there any rituals involved, like you got to light candles, like we see in movies, witchcraft?
Yeah, a lot of that is kind of Hollywood-like when they do that. But it's not to say that there are paranormal investigators that will use anything, any means possible, whether it be dowsing rods or, like you say, candles, or just some kind of seance with regard to, you could use a Ouija board, but using a Ouija board can bring mixed results, and it's not entirely proven that the answers you're receiving are coming from the beyond.
So you go to the place where she was buried, and you ask a straight out, simple question with the EVP, with the recorder, and no candles, no rituals, nothing. You go there, and then what happens? Have there been results?
There has been.
There was some audible sounds she was making. I can't remember at this point, but Sarge and I kind of ran up the dune to see what was going on with her, because obviously she was trying to communicate with us, so that's what it seemed like she was trying to do. And she was sitting there in the lotus position, and we're looking down, we're standing over her, looking down on her, and she gradually looks up, and she looks up into the sky, and she says, "Look up." So we do. We look up. And as we look up, there's a frisbee-shaped form that is coming into the atmosphere, and you can make, the only way you can make it out is that flames from reentry, like when a capsule hits the atmosphere.
The friction,
the friction, it starts to heat up, and this is like pretty sizable, like the size of a dime up there. So this has got to be a pretty big thing, if you can make it out from that distance. So it comes in, and it just kind of slows down, and then it goes vroom, from one horizon, vroom, back again to the other horizon, comes back, stops, and then steadily just kind of climbs in and out of the atmosphere. And as it does, you can just kind of see stuff tailing off of it still as it goes in, and as it enters into space, you just see it go from white and vaguely just lose its shape into blackness, and it's gone.
Wow.
And that was the experience. And the thing, just to wrap it up for you, like 3 years later, I was at university, at Florida State University in Tallahassee, and I ran into Sarge at a party, and she was studying at the same university. And we commiserated, and we both remember the story exactly the same 3 years later.
Because Sarge also saw.
She saw the same thing. We all thought, the three of us had the same experience.
Wow.
People that seen UFOs, but aliens themselves, like the actual people that drive the UFOs, no. That's really rare.
Have you seen this movie District 9?
Yes.
I think that it's kind of like the thing that you're talking about, the experimental base.
Yeah.
So if the government knows about that, Do you think they're trying to warn us or
I think what's
make us aware?
Well, that's a good question. I think what's been going on with the movies coming out about aliens recently is they've been trying to get everybody used to the idea that there's aliens and pretty soon we're going to tell you and we're going to show you everything that we've been knowing for the past 60 years. But let's get you used to it at first, like, there was the whole campaign in the 50s, like, let's make aliens a joke. Let's make them, into something where you hear aliens, you think about the movies. You don't think about, like, can this be true or not? It's like disinformation, sort of. So now I think it's more like there's a lot of movies that are coming out recently about aliens, like all Paranormal Activity and all these movies that came out. And I think that's just getting people used to the fact that it could be real, and one day, soon, hopefully, they'll be like, well, here they are, and,
Could be twisting our minds.
Yeah.